So today the overall learning intention is to develop a deeper understanding of student engagement by exploring various indicators of student engagement. Okay, so basically the day is organized in two sections. So in the morning, we're going to look at the concepts. So it's the analytical part of the day. So the first part will be looking at the engagement. What is meant by engagement? What are the conceptual definitions? What is the research saying? In the afternoon, we're going to explore practical implications of the results. One thing that I'd really like to reinforce is develop a group thought, like a group thinking about Tell Them From Me/student engagement. A critical understanding about using perception surveys. And that's the practical side of the workshop. I'd like to really address what we hear about the objections and the challenges of distributing Tell Them From Me. Okay, and then the last one, which is also a practical implication, is really making connections about how are the schools using the data. Victoria Bernard is our key model for data analysis. I'm going to make a more specific reference to Wellman and Lipton about the gut data, now what. And in terms of engagement, the research, of course, we're going to look at the concepts as provided by the main author in Tell Them From Me, which is Doug Wilms, and what he says, like what's his model about student engagement. So that's the first part. But then we're going to make reference to two other works. This one is really practical, it's Marzano, so we're going to make the link to his work, his model. And then this one is a little bit more research-based, more comprehensive. So we have the 3 steps to structure our collaborative inquiry dialogue. The first step is activating and engaging, so it's usually the prediction and working with assumptions. The second step is exploring and discovering, which is the data analysis part. And then the third step is organizing and integrating. What we're going to do is the famous brainstorming activities. So I'd like you to use your Post-its, one idea per Post-it as usual. I'd like you to churn out as many concepts as you can to explain what is student engagement. I would like you to group your words by themes. See what are the common themes and what's arising.
Participation, an effort, interest.
Ask questions in class.
I have attend school on a regular basis, which helps our institution.
Attendance, yeah.
I've identified.
So we're going to do a little brainstorming to get into use of data by the schools.
So when the survey works, that is when everyone sort of happily engages in
Okay, so what is student engagement to me? I think student engagement particularly is the connection that students feel to school. I think it's a huge factor in their success. I think it leads to their overall achievement, and it's a huge component relationship to teachers, administration, to peers. That all plays an important role.
We've been using the Tell Them From Me survey for about 10 years now, and we really do find it's a tool for collective inquiry. We've been using it with regards to getting a peek at really what students have going on, how they see what's going on within their schools.
So it's important to look at data on student engagement simply because engagement is essentially what keeps students in school as long as possible, and the longer they stay in school, the better chances it'll be that they'll graduate. What ends up happening is that if students begin to disengage or start to get the feelings of disengagements, this follows them from one year to another, and it could start as early as grade 3, and by the time they reach high school, if all of the conditions, the feeling of frustration, failure, and issues related to puberty and so on, if all of those conditions are just right, if the student is disengaged, then they really become at risk of dropping out. So it's important to diagnose it at an early age so that we can put in measures and interventions to try to address those issues. And it's also important to look at disaggregated data on student engagement, because you want to try to pinpoint exactly at what grade level and what gender the students are when they're experiencing disengagement.